we're going to take a look at gameplay from one of my viewers, Deputy Rook. As he plays the match, I'll be on the lookout for key moments. Let's begin by having a look at your build. Double calm add-ons I see. Those will make it a bit harder for them to pinpoint your location. As for your perks, Hex Plaything seems a little redundant, given that your tear radius will most of the time be small, but it might add another layer of confusion for the survivors. Now Oppression looks like it will synergize well with Huntress Lullaby, forcing survivors to hit skill checks with little to no warning. And Overcharge complements not only your perks, but your killer as well. The Doctor's Madness mechanic will make the skill checks even harder to hit. Overall, your build looks good. Seems like you put some thought into it. Good move heading for the 2 survivors instead of the 1. Disrupting multiple at the same time keeps them off the generators longer. A sneaky line of sight juke by Meg here. You take a little too long to shot Claudette here, which allows her to reach the pallet. Looks like you popped your static blast to make sure nobody's hiding around the gen. A big misplay by Claudette. She camped the pallet waiting for you to shock her instead of running around the loop. What did she expect was going to happen? I'm giving Meg a broken key for this. Just look, she had a strong tile right in front of her, and she completely ignored it. Punish her for that. Yeah, there you go. Knock some sense into her. Oh, that Bill. Laughing at you. He sabotaged your hook. Now, I'm not sure why you picked her up again, knowing she would wiggle out. Why not force her teammates to waste their time rescuing her? Oh, did you guys see that? Because Rook didn't. Right here. Now, who might that be?
How you doing?
That sprint burst really saved her. Perhaps if you had searched the area before kicking the gen, you could have caught her by surprise. You did spot blood next to the gen, so she couldn't have gone far. You could have ended the chase here, but just like earlier, you mistime your shock. Rook makes multiple mistakes during this chase. This is the first one. He runs the T wall the wrong way, giving Meg access to the L wall. His second mistake is relying too much on his power and not enough on mind games. This makes his behavior predictable, and you can see the survivor exploit it multiple times. And Rook's third mistake is failing to track the number of times Meg vaulted the window. If he had, he would have known the window was blocked and would have caught her here. Ooh, that was a spicy window fake. But not hot enough to save her. Given how long it took to catch her, I'm surprised at how 0 generators popped. What was her team doing all that time? Why did the survivor run into a dead zone? I'm giving her a broken key for that. Moments like these are why I advocate wearing darker colored cosmetics. Just look at how low the contrast is between Claudette and the gen. That's why you missed her. This Claudette does not know how to loop. She could have made it to the window, but she waited for you at the pallet. While you did score the down here, it was due to an error on Meg's part. You once again waited too long to shock her. You started charging your shock here, when you should have started a second earlier. I'm curious, why did you decide to use your static blast here? You were maybe 4 seconds away from being within melee range of that survivor. Aside from that, I also want to point out that this is the part of the match where the tide begins turning in Rook's favor, and it's solely because of this Meg leading him to the hook. When the survivor team is grouped up like this, it takes less time for the killer to bounce from one victim to another.
Hell.
Yep, you went down, Bill. And it's your fault, too. Bill was waiting behind this rock, waiting for you to pick up Meg. Then he would sabotage the hook you went for. But he blew his cover a little too early. I think your lack of a tear radius made it hard for her to decide which way to run. Another blunder by Bill. Injured survivors are very loud. Hiding right next to the killer? Not a bright idea. Uh-oh. Game over, man. Claudette should have been hiding inside a locker, waiting for you to use your static blast. This game turned around fast. All it took was one survivor making a bad decision to flip things upside down. But yeah, that's 4 kills. Not a bad match. I think Deputy Rook showed a fair understanding of Dead by Daylight's game mechanics. He knew to use his shock therapy to deny pallet drops, his static blast to locate survivors, and his ears to finish off injured survivors. However, he made quite a few mistakes that probably would have cost him the match against more experienced players, failing to time his shocks properly, helping survivors back on their feet, and behaving predictably at loops were all misplays that cost him a lot of time. But I know Rook is a long-time player of this game, so I'm confident that he will learn from these mistakes and improve. So thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for future content.